Next in line, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2. Now, the thing about the Guardians movies is that these movies don't have that much of a storyline, but what is important about them is the characters that they introduce. So in this video, we're going to do things a little differently. I'm going to tell you all about major characters that the movie introduces, and then in the end, if we have time, I will explain the movie in short. So let's begin. First character that you need to know about is this guy called Peter Quill. Now he's a human, who was a child when his mother died, and even younger when his father left him. So he was all alone on Earth. That is until a bunch of alien mafia people led by this guy called Yondu, who has blue skin and has an arrow that he can control with his mind and that can penetrate metal. This group abducts Peter Quill and he is raised by Yondu ever since. Later on, he steals an orb from a world that I don't know the pronunciation of. This orb, as it turns out, was very important to a major character, which brings me to my next character, Ronan. Ronan is a Kree. He really wanted that orb. When he finds out that it was stolen, he's really furious about it, and he sends an assassin to retrieve that orb from Peter Quill. This assassin is a girl named Gamora, who's basically an alien with green skin and a really badass alien, might I add. She is the daughter of a guy called Thanos. You might have heard of this guy. It's not like he's a big deal nowadays, but you might have heard of him, seen him. Now Gamora is from a planet that Thanos had visited, and he destroyed half the population. That included Gamora's mother. Gamora was just a child, so instead of killing her, he takes her with him and raises her like his own daughter. She decides to betray Ronan. So yeah, that happens. She doesn't really like Thanos. She's not for him, you know. I mean, the guy did destroy her entire world. So, I mean, that's an obvious reaction. As Gamora is fighting Quill for the orb, there are two more characters that come into the movie. One is Rocket the Raccoon, and second is Groot the Groot. They're both bounty hunters and they quickly join in on the fun, and they're like, oh, this orb is of value, so let me get it too. A lot of funny stuff happens, really funny, and ultimately they end up getting caught. Here in prison, they meet another character called Drax. Drax is an alien from a world that was destroyed by Thanos. So when he finds out that Gamora is Thanos' daughter, he's like, I want revenge, and so he tries to kill her. But then everything calms down, and ultimately this group of 5 people manage to escape the prison. Gamora tells the guys that she wants to sell the orb to the Collector. The black market of space is headed by this guy. They go and try to sell the orb. He opens the orb, and inside is a very important element of the Marvel Universe, an Infinity Stone. Ultimately, there are a lot of fight sequences. Yeah, Peter Quill challenges Ronan to a dance-off. In the end, the Power Stone is safe, Ronan is dead, and this group of 5, henceforth known as the Guardians of the Galaxy. They do something good, something bad, or a little bit of both. Those are the major characters from the first movie. Groot, basically this giant tree who can only say the words I am Groot, but apparently that is a full-fledged language, and if you can speak Groot, only then you can understand what this tree is saying. Groot dies saving these people, and so in the end, giant tree is replaced by a small sapling of Groot that is going to turn old and become Groot. Also, a major revelation, as it turns out, Peter Quill is not just a human, as his father belonged to some ancient alien race. These questions are answered in the next movie, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, Peter Quill, as we just found out, is half human. His father belonged to an ancient alien race. His father is the major character of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. His name is Ego. This guy is really powerful. He single-handedly breaks down the law of conservation of mass because his powers are literally to be able to create and destroy mass. So yeah, he's a big deal. And Peter Quill is half of this guy. In the beginning, it seems as though Quill and his dad are having a happy reunion, but then during the movie we find out that Ego actually had this plan all along, where he wanted an offspring from some world who could yield the powers that he had. Next up, we have Mantis. She is also a very powerful alien. Her powers include being able to find out what is going on in your brain, like the emotions that you have, including anxiety, fear, anger, happiness, joy, serenity, peace, whatever. Also, she can make you sleep or wake up. Yeah. Next up, we have Nebula. Now, you might remember Nebula is Gamora's sister, sort of. The thing about her is that she is half alien, half living being, sort of a thing. Gamora is just maintaining her distance. At the same time, she's trying to protect her sister, and so we see like a sisterly bond between them. This movie also reveals to us that Gamora has found out where the Soul Stone is, which is again an Infinity Stone. Next movie we have, I think we have Age of Ultron.